Holmes en pantalla grande y la verdad es que es una evolución dentro de tu cine. Es una película que mantiene unas coordenadas muy concretas que siguen estando ahí, pero que es más cercana a una fábula, es una película más romántica, pero también contiene mucho humor negro, ¿no? ¿Qué nos puedes contar mejor?
I was finishing Piranha when I received the galley of Ons, the book by Joe Hill, and so the book was not published yet. And I started reading it, and I just couldn't believe that I was laughing and then being scared and then laughing again and then being moved and then being, diving into a crazy fantasy world. And I thought it was one of the best novel I ever read, and I just had to make it. I knew reading the book that it was, you know, I will do anything I can to make it happen. It happened to me one time before with a graphic novel called Black Hole by Charles Burns, and I was attached to make the movie, and we couldn't make it happen. And till today, I still like missing to have not made this movie. So when I read Owens, I knew that no matter what, I will make it.
Dice que fue justo al finalizar el Piraña cuando le llegó el libro de Horns a las manos y lo leyó y no podía creerse que pasase de reírse a asustarse, a emocionarse. Era un libro que tenía muchas cosas y un mundo de fantasía como muy alocado, y supo inmediatamente que quería llevar la novela a la pantalla. Dice que, bueno, que solo le había pasado esto una vez antes con el cómic de Black Hole, y aquel proyecto no pudo finalmente llevarse a cabo, pero quería quitarse esa espinita, y con Holmes quiso realmente hacer la película de esta novela que le había gustado tanto.
Ahora estás preparando una nueva película, que la estás prácticamente terminando, The Nine Life of Louis Drax. ¿Qué nos puedes contar de ella? Porque
So
es
everything
algo muy
is
diferente, ¿no?
it's very different as well, but there is an evolution. I mean, evolution, I don't know, like, but there is always a link because I'm always seeking for stories that I will fall in love with, because when you make movies and you have to fight so much to keep your vision and to convince people and to believe in what you're doing every day, and it's a long, long work, it takes years. So you really have to go back and say, okay, this is why I love this story so much. So when I read Horns, I knew I loved the story, so I could always go back to that first feeling. And it's always the same thing when you have a story. And when I was doing Horns, I worked with Max Minghella, who plays Lee in the movie. And Max Minghella is Anthony Minghella's son. And he said, my father, before he passed away, was supposed to make a movie based on a book called The Nine Life of Louis Drax. And you should read it because it's a very interesting story, and I could really picture you, doing it. And of course, like, it was a big challenge because Anthony Minghella was just an amazing director. And so I read it, and I was so moved and so touched, and it was so original and new, and I never seen anything like that before. So we started working together and developed the script, and we finished the movie before Christmas, and we are like finishing the editing right now. I think the movie will be done by the fall. It's very different from Horns. It's definitely different from any. It's the last genre movie that I made. It doesn't mean that I don't want to make genre movie anymore, that I don't want to make something scary anymore, but it's just the story I wanted to tell at that point. And I'm sure the next one will be, back in suspense land or different. I mean, it's always finding the story that deserves to spend few years and giving the feeling that's never been done before. It's really important to find something where you just step outside of repeating the same thing again and again.
Bueno, dice que esta película es distinta a lo que ha hecho hasta ahora, pero que vuelve a estar ligado a historias que a él realmente le gustan, porque cuando haces películas tienes que convencer a mucha gente de que lo que estás haciendo es bueno, tienes que convencerles para que apuesten por tu proyecto, y para explicar el por qué te gusta, realmente tiene que gustarte, y por eso siempre apuesta por historias que a él personalmente le convencen. Entonces, bueno, haciendo Horns, Max Mignella, le comentó sobre esta novela y le dijo, tienes que leerla porque seguro que te va a gustar. Y efectivamente la leyó y le encantó, le parece una historia fresca, muy original y quiso llevar a cabo el proyecto. Así que juntos, bueno, escribieron la historia y la película se terminó de filmar esta Navidad. Dice que ahora mismo están en el proceso de montaje y que esperan que esté todo listo para el otoño. Y aunque se desmarca un poco de las películas de género que había hecho hasta el momento, pues esa es la historia que en ese momento quería contar, la historia en la que creía y que le gustaba. Y bueno, está seguro de que en un futuro volverá a hacer películas de género, pero ahora mismo era lo que sentía.
Tengo que preguntarte por un proyecto que seguramente interesa a muchos de los que están en esta sala, que es esa película de ciencia ficción que todos estamos esperando, que es Space Adventure Cover.
Cobra Space Adventure is for me a project that's throwback to my childhood. You know, it used to be a very successful manga, one of the most successful manga in Japan, but it also happened to be one of the most successful Jap anime in France. And when we were a kid, we used to run after school to not miss any episodes. It was really the best thing. It was Star Wars and Cobra in the same time, and Cobra was much more sexy and funny and that sense of humor. So I got the right of Cobra a few years ago, and we developed a project. We almost got it into production, but the studio that was doing it in the US changed regime, and so everything collapsed. And then, you know, like we still like fighting to make it happen, but
dice que este proyecto le vuelve a llevar a su infancia, pues Cobra había sido un manga de mucho éxito en Japón y que en Francia se hizo un anime pues también muy exitoso que estaba a la par de Star Wars en ese momento, pero al Cobra le parecía algo pues más canalla por así decirlo y más divertido. Y bueno, este proyecto lo tiene entre manos desde hace ya varios años. Estaban trabajando con una productora, pero aquello no salió bien, la productora desapareció y bueno, han vuelto a retomar el proyecto ahora.
And then the Guardian of the Galaxy came, which is exactly Cobra, with the same character, with the same sense of humor, with the same storyline, with everything the same. So we had to go back to, you know, like page one and start rewriting. So we're working on a new story in a new world because I really want to make Cobra and make it happen. Just that, you know, I love Guardian of the Galaxy. I mean, I think it's an amazing movie. It's just that it's exactly the same thing. But the only good thing is for years, I had a lot of responses from the American studios saying, you cannot make, you cannot have like humor in space. That will never work. That will never, and you have to make something dark and like, look at the Dark Knight. Look, this is what you have to do in space. And Guardian of the Galaxy proved that we were not completely wrong, and you can do something very edgy and very funny in space.